Hello, I'm Rosie. This is my TBR Jar challenge video for May. I already filmed this video once and the camera didn't focus, which is very frustrating because it means that I am now slightly behind and yeah, I'm hoping this will work. The trouble is I can't actually see what I'm filming because of the type of camera I've got, so it's mostly guesswork in terms of lighting and focus, but hopefully this will take and all will be well. My challenge for May was to read an award-winning novel. Unfortunately for me, I was on a book buying ban and at university where my choice of books was limited. So after perusing the shelves for a while, I found one book, yes, one book that I had not read already that was an award-winning novel. That book was The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. I was quite pleased with this because this book is massive, but it's also one that I've been wanting to read for a long time, and having the incentive to read it, because it is an award-winning novel. It won the Man Booker Prize in 2013, so for me I was like, yes, I have incentive to read this book and so I shall. And I did. I really enjoyed reading this book. I wasn't sure what to expect when going in. All I knew was that it had a lot of recommendations and people enjoyed reading it, as well as what was on the back. Essentially, it's set in a gold mining town in New Zealand back in the day when gold mining was a big business, and in this town there are three what they call crimes that are committed on the same night. The first is a kind of hermit guy winds up dead. Second is a prostitute is believed to have attempted suicide, and the third is that a wealthy businessman has vanished. And as these all happen on the same night, a number of members of this town's community believe that they are connected in some way, and so these 12 men come together one night to discuss the mystery and what could be linking everything. The reader is first introduced to the character of Walter Moody, who is essentially the 13th man. He stumbles onto this group of men as they have this meeting, and as a result, as Walter Moody is told everything up to that point and what all the other characters know, the reader is informed as well. What I personally really found interesting was the fact that you get the same kind of events told from different perspectives. While I know some people didn't particularly like this because they felt as they were being told the same thing over and over again, I really enjoyed seeing how different perspectives perceive certain events, and the fact that there's a difference between nothing but the truth and the whole truth, as pointed out in the book. And I really enjoyed that side of things because in real life there's no one person's story may not be completely accurate because there's multiple things that have happened and everyone involved perceives things differently and is connected differently, and it's all really interesting. And there's quite a large cast, so while it does get difficult at times to keep track of them all, especially near the beginning where you don't quite know everyone just yet, it does make for a really interesting read. But I'm usually quite good at being able to guess resolutions to mysteries and working out who did it, basically. But this book, I was confused throughout. Because it's so complicated, you never quite know what actually happened until it's revealed at the end, which I thought was really well done. There was a sense of justification because it was understandable and it made sense, but you couldn't quite get to it without seeing everything put together finally at the very end of the book. There were a couple of problems I did have with it. The use of astrology throughout the book seemed very pointless to me. I didn't understand how it impacted the plot in any way, what it added to the book. There are whole paragraphs about it and it just kind of distracted from the story. I didn't quite get why it was involved. The charts at the beginning of each section were interesting because it kind of implied which characters would be affected in that section, but otherwise I didn't get it. I don't know whether this is just me being stupid, but I just didn't understand why there was all this astrology stuff in a book about a crime in a gold mining town. But that bit did distract me, and there was also a bit of confusion with the dates because while it's told in multiple perspectives, it does happen over different time periods, and while there's a date at the top of the page, it does get confusing going up to the top and trying to picture out where this certain section has fallen in amongst all the other bits that you're told. So that was a bit confusing as well. but otherwise the book is just really well written and a lot of care and effort has gone into it. This is especially evident given that each section is half the length of the section before, so the first section takes up about half the book and they just gradually get shorter and shorter and shorter. This both increases the suspense and the tension in the book, but also, I don't know the reasoning for it, but it shows how much the author actually cared about the book and how much thought she put into it. I just really enjoyed this book. It's well written and the characters, while it is quite confusing with the large number of them, they are unique and it is quite interesting reading about them and learning their histories and their motives as well. None of the characters are perfect, which made for a really interesting read because they all had their flaws and their own ideas and ideals that conflicted with other people. It was just such a realistic book. It was such an easy read despite the complex language and plot and the fact it's massive. I found it difficult to put it down. I was just saying something, especially since this is not the type of book I normally read. I was just engrossed in the story and finding out what happened. And I'm just really glad I got this challenge when I did because I'm not sure I would have picked it up otherwise. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, I do believe. But that was the book I read for my TBR Jar challenge for May. Because I've already filmed this once, I've already picked out one challenge for June, but I thought for the sake of entertainment, rather than just tell you, I would do it again. So here is my box, my wonderful TBR Jar challenge box. So I'll give it a shake. Open the lid. And let's see which one I have. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one. Read the first book in a series. I'm really pleased with this because I have so many books at the start of a series to read at the moment. Like my TBR shelf is basically first in a series, first in a series, first in a series, standalone, first in a series. Like, I have so many series to start. So this one is so open. I can just pick up whatever book I feel like reading and read it. It's not much of a challenge as a result of that. I may make it a bit more interesting and maybe attempt to read all my first books in series. That would be a real challenge given how long some of these books are, but it might make it a bit more interesting. So I'll let you know how it goes on that front, reading all my first books in a series. Yeah, that's gonna need luck and a lot of time and perseverance, I think. Until next time, goodbye.